Oh, gosh. Haro, why are you waking me up? Haro, look, I know The Witch from Mercury came out this morning. And by this morning, I mean 2 hours ago. But what? We're not, you know that we're not doing a review on this. We're doing a 3-episode review of this with John later. Do you know algorithm says so? I mean, that's nobody else is on the ship. It's just me, Haro. What do you want me to do? All right, fine, Haro, fine. I will get up and I'll do a quick first impressions review of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. But I'm only doing this once. In 1979, Mobile Suit Gundam was introduced to the world. But what is Gundam? Where do you start watching it? Join the crew of Shiro Base as they seek to discover Gundam together. Come and join the Gundam Watch. Hello, Gundam fans, and welcome to the Gundam Watch, a extension of the Geek Devotions podcast network. Geek Devotions is a show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting you know that you are loved. I'm so glad you guys have hit play on this podcast where we take a look at Mobile Suit Gundam in various forms, and we talk about it. We discuss if we like it, we don't like it, and yeah. I'm Dallas, and I'm so glad to have you guys here for this special mini episode where we're going to be taking a look, giving our first impressions of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, Episode 1, The Witch and the Bride. And so I'm actually kind of excited. I've been looking forward to Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. We were going to wait and do a full-on 3-episode review with Judd Haryu, but General Algorithm, you know how he is. So we're going to just, again, this is going to be not a full-length episode. This is going to be quick. Let me give my thoughts and summations of this particular episode. And yeah, that's basically it. I want to encourage you guys to stick in. We have our official episode 3 coming out here, I think in about a week. Yeah, about a week from now, where Branson and I will be reviewing Mobile Suit Gundam Movie 3, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But that being said, let's jump into the viewing pod, and let's go ahead and listen to or watch this episode. All right, in the viewing pod, all right, my impressions. From the previews, it seems like it's going to be a lighthearted, fun anime, but from the prologue, there's certainly not a dark undertone, but a serious undertone. So my hope for this first episode is that it's going to explain some of the world. It's going to give me some, it's going to give you some more groundwork. The prologue does a great job of giving a lot of groundwork for the world, but from the previews, this takes place several years afterwards. So it's going to have to give me some rounding up of what's happened in the last several years and give me a reason to care about these characters. So let's jump into this. Let's see here. Goodness gracious. Hold on. The subtitles are completely off. All right. Activating Crunchyroll sync. And all right, good. All right, let's do this. All right. And we just stepped out of the viewing pod. And yeah, all right. It wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't bad. I'm going to go ahead and read for you guys the description of this from the Wikipedia, just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts on it. Solita Mercury is in transit to Astasia School of Technology. I'm butchering these names. I apologize. When she notices a stranded astronaut and takes off in her Gundam Ariel to rescue them. However, the astronaut headbutts her in the cockpit, claiming that she was trying to escape. Soleta finally arrives at the school to discover the girl she rescued was Mjolnir Rembrandt. She later discovers Mjolnir's reason for escaping, that the right to her hand in marriage was given to a popular yet ill-tempered duelist named Gul Jeturk. Mjolnir's father, Dealing Rembrandt, is the head of the Burnett Group that created the school and holds influence over most powerful companies throughout space. Furthermore, he designed the school's policies so that anything can be settled via mobile suit duels, from simple apologies to his own from simple apologies to his own daughter's hand in marriage. That's rough. When Gould shows up to destroy Mjolnir's greenhouse and forces her to live with him, Sulita slaps him and accepts a duel challenge. As Gould prepares to duel Sulita, his father plants a bomb in Dealing's shuttle and plans to assassinate him to solidify Gould's status as the heir of Dealing's corporate empire. Gould is surprised to discover that Mjolnir subbed herself in for Suletta in the Gundam Ariel, but fights her anyway. Despite Mjolnir's conviction, she isn't used to the Gundam's controls and quickly falls until Suletta speeds onto the scene on a hoverback and forcibly takes the cockpit herself, unlocking the core features of the Gundams, cutting Gould's Delance into several pieces. Gould's father calls off the assassination plot shortly after hearing the news of Gould's loss to the duel. Under the school's rules, not only does Suletta win Gould's holder emblem and uniform, but has become Mjolnir's fiance. Oof, that was a mouthful, and I apologize, but let's unpack this a little bit. Let me give you guys my thoughts on it. Now, art-wise, I think this is a very beautiful anime. I think that they did a great job of combining some more traditional-looking anime with a lot of interesting 3D animation going on. One of the things I wrote in my notes was that the school, the area, when you're inside of it, it kind of gives me the Side 7 feel to it, which I really appreciated it. Again, that's a great callback to the original franchise. At the same time, looking at some of the mobile suits, there were some interesting designs. You only saw a couple of suits in this particular episode. You saw they look like trainers, I guess. like they're meant to help you train how to do this. And I didn't really care for the designs. They were kind of stocky, and it was just a strange design. Now, interesting thing about Ghoul's mobile suit is that which is called the Delanza. It reminded me of Char Aznavour's Sasabi. Now, obviously, it didn't look like it directly, but there are certain design elements that gave me the feeling of Sasabi, and I can't help but wonder if those design elements were on purpose to again harken back to that original franchise. This guy Ghoul and his family clearly are they're antagonists. They're one of the bad guys in the series. And so I'm wondering if they did that on purpose to give longtime Gundam fans something familiar to look after. Now, Soletta's Ariel, that Gundam, it's a sweet Gundam. It is really, really quite nice. Has kind of some feels of Barbados from Iron Blood Orphans, which I appreciated. But also, I mean, it felt like a Gundam. It felt like this was, the Gundam of a series. And that's a kind of a weird conversation. One of the things that people argue about over the years with Gundam and different Gundam series is like, well, that doesn't look like a Gundam. Well, what is a Gundam? And people have tried to explain it. The design features shift, they adjust all the time. But there's a feeling to it. I can't really explain it. As somebody who's watched a lot of Gundam, there is a feeling to a mobile suit that you can go, yep, that's a Gundam right there. And so I appreciated that design aspect of it. Now let's talk about the story here. Story-wise, it does carry that lighthearted kind of poppy feel to it. But as you get into it, there's a lot of interesting undertones that it's trying to tackle and trying to basically express. It's talking about some corporate greed. Ghoul's father is obviously trying to do basically a corporate takeover by manufacturing and orchestrating this marriage between Ghoul and Mjolnir. Again, I'm butchering these names, so I'm going to apologize. But by manufacturing the way this takes place. And I know that people are going to be asking questions. Well, what about this aspect where now you have Suletta is now the fiance to Mjolnir. And I know there's a lot of people who are right off the gate are shipping this, and I understand why they're doing that. Here's my theory. What's going on. As the story plays out, Mjolnir makes it very clear. She's her own woman. She does not want to be part of anybody's system. She is very frustrated, very angry with her father. He clearly has no care or concern with her. She is but another pawn in his chessboard of corporate takeover, which, by the way, for in case I may have missed it, her father is the guy that orchestrated the death of everybody. I mean, everybody from the prologue. So here's my prediction coming out the bat. I think that we're going to get a few episodes in, and what you're going to see is that Mjolnir is really going to go own her own thing up, and she's going to do the whole I am woman, I don't need anybody, and I'm not going to worry about this whole dual thing and who I'm supposed to be married and not married to. She's going to try to own this herself, and I really foresee that taking place. And I say that because with Suletta, she's just there. Like, she has no romantic attachment to anybody here. She doesn't seem to have any romantic attachment to Mjolnir. She's just like, I'm just trying to help you out. And she kind of gives me this like Tenchi Muyo vibe. Some of you guys may remember Tenchi Muyo, where which was a harem anime. And Tenchi, he was just there. like he had no romantic attachment to just about anybody in that show. Now, I know that in later renditions, specifically in the third movie, they did create a thing where him and Ryoko kind of came together. But that's where I see this series going, simply because I really feel like they're wanting to build up Mjolnir as a strong, independent woman who is a victim of what's the word I'm looking for? Of her dad's poor choices. Like, he's trying to orchestrate stuff. She is but a pawn, and she's going to own herself. She's going to become her own person. So I really feel like that's where they're going to go with it. I just can't. I want to see what takes place over the next couple episodes. I'm also really intrigued to see what takes place with some of this corporate pawn movement. Again, her dad, he runs basically all the major corporations. He's over he runs the umbrella that handles all these things. In fact, you watch him like just go, all right, you guys didn't make a profit, so cutting you off and you're gone. You're going to go bankrupt. Deuces. And I'm curious to see how this plays out, this is another thing is off the top of my head. I'm rambling. I apologize for those of you guys who are listening. For those of you who watched Iron Blood Orphans, you saw this conversation about corporate greed, and while they're dealing with like royal type like families, it was kind of a corporation based type of thing. And I'm curious to why that is. What is happening in Japan right now, where the conversation about corporate greed is a conversation that they're having through the medium of anime? I may do some digging into this and try to figure this out and talk about it in a future episode of this podcast. But if you are a listener, you have thoughts on this, you know what's happening. Because again, this is a Japanese show. I can very easily point out some stuff that's taking place here in the States. But this is a Japanese show. So what's taking place in Japan? If you guys have insight, let us know. Reach out to us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Look for the Gundam Watch and let me know your guys' thoughts on it. But yeah, I like political theater. I like political chess, if you will. And so I hope that they carry this story out and they do a great job telling it. The action's great. The storytelling so far it's been fun. Like, again, it was a fun episode to watch. There's a lot going on. It's very cute. It's very, very bright, if you will. But there is this political theater that's taking place. So I'm really intrigued to see how it plays out. So those are my initial thoughts on it. Again, I want to hear from you guys. Reach out to us on any of our social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look for the Gundam Watch. And so that being said, I believe I have for you guys a maintenance report for this.
Now loading the cruise maintenance reports. Reports begin in 3, 2, 1.
All right, and we're back for our maintenance reports. If you're new to the Gundam Watch, what we do with our maintenance reports is we watch these various movies and shows of Mobile Suit Gundam, and after we discuss them, give you guys our thoughts, we lay out our something encouraging, something inspirational. We watch these things that have, heavy topics, and we wanted you guys to walk away inspired and encouraged in some fashion, pointing you guys back to Jesus. Again, the guys here at the Gundam Watch, myself, we're all Christians, and so we look at things through a Christian worldview, obviously, and we want to encourage you with something from the show. And I believe what I want to show you guys today is what Suletta said whenever her and Miorne were in the cockpit of Ariel. And it was this whole thing. She kept saying back, you go backwards, you'll get one. But if you go two, move forward, you'll get two. And that was a matter of you'll get experience and pride. And what she's talking about is you grow. You grow as an individual. If you move forward, if you try, if you move forward, you will grow in the situation. Whether you win or lose, you will grow. And I want to encourage you guys in your life. There's a lot of daunting things in front of you. I understand there are experiences and there's things that you want to accomplish, but they're daunting. They're massive. Press forward, step forward in faith and attempt to do it. But if you fail, understand this, you still move forward. You still attempted it and learn from those examples and grow. Learn from what you did wrong and take your next step to better yourself so that when you've done this, you can move forward. James chapter 1, starting in verse 2, it says this: "Consider it all joy, brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect work, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." What this passage, what this scripture is talking about, it's not telling you, oh, joy, I'm going through hard times. But no, it's as you walk through these hard times, consider it joyful because you know that you can grow on the back end. There's something that's going to be worked out on the inside in you. And then as you walk through this difficult time, you may not do well at first, but if you continue moving forward, endurance will build, faith will build inside of you, and you will become what God's created you to be if you are willing to endure what's before you. So that's my encouragement for you guys. I want to know from you guys, like, were you encouraged by this? Were you inspired by it? Let us know. So, hey, that's all we have for today. Again, this is a very quick episode, kind of a first thoughts on this particular episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. Again, we're going to be doing a 3-episode review with John Haryu here in a couple weeks after it all comes out. And we want to know your guys' thoughts on it yourselves. So, until next time, stay devoted. Peace and love.